What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk about SoFi. SoFi is having a little bit more of a rough day, but there was some optimism that did come out today. I'm going to share that with you and what that will mean for us as investors. Also, I do want to go over some updated data points very relevant to a lot of investors. But before I get into any of that though, making sure you guys hit that thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. If you like my channel, want to support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that, let's get right to it. So live ticker is going at the very bottom of the screen. 27.3 million is shares being traded today. That is hands down a lot lower than we're used to. 52.8 is the average, and that is a 6-month average. Block volume currently has 6.3 million shares being purchased by institutions and hedge funds just today alone. So in that regard, it is up a little bit, but more so looking here. So when it comes down to that block volume, that is off of all the exchanges with the exception of the dark pool. You can see all of these large transactions all being purchased by institutions on dark pool, which in case you guys don't know what the dark pool is, it's basically an exchange for institutions to trade amongst each other. Because imagine having $6.53 million worth of a premium done on the secondary market. That would definitely do a lot of damage, cause a lot more volatility. So to avoid that volatility, they have the dark pool. So you can see a lot of institutions, big institutions, adding. So take that how you see that. I always see that as a very strong sign. And coincidentally as well, Robinhood, which again is mixed to some individuals, they do state that SoFi is among the best stocks under $20. So that is a very good thing because it does show and insinuate that there is still a significant value with SoFi, which you and I both know that there is. But when it comes down to, unfortunately, it being a lot of fear in the market, it's largely brought on because of recession. There's going to be a lot of people talking about recessions, saying that it's hitting 2022, 2023. And you can even see right here, it does point out for the student debt. So this is a little bit more relevant to SoFi. It does say America could be in the grips of a massive debt crisis. Student debts has surpassed the GDP of Canada, which I did not know that. That is mind-blowing. So it does look like a lot of people and Biden, the whole administration, is really kind of pushing and kicking down the can. And unfortunately, that is affecting SoFi a lot. Regardless of it only being a very small percentage of the overall portfolio for SoFi, it still is damaging towards it. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below, especially considering as well, a lot of people are talking about CPI data that is coming out tomorrow. And that ultimately is going to affect the interest rates because it does come down to the forecast, because the forecast does show right here. I'm just going to pop this up. You can see the month over month, it does actually plan that it's going to go up. The year over year does show it's going to be pretty much flat, so 8.3. But the month over month, it does show that it's going to go from 0.03, which was last month, to 0.7. So take that how you see that. That might show that and give justification for the Feds to increase their rates, which ultimately will really hurt a lot of growth stocks very dependent on debt. And right now, looking at SoFi's balance sheet, I'm just going to give you a quick summary of this. Right now, there is 1.35 billion in cash equivalents and short-term investments, 525 million in long-term investments, and 512 in total debt. So that hands down has been one of the main factors that's caused SoFi to go down as much as it is. Yes, there's been manipulation against it and things like that, but it's their debt. Their debt has been one of the most attributing factors that's been causing it to go down. Like I said, in combination with manipulation. But moving on though, I just want to quickly go over some other updated data points, one of which is short information, because like I already mentioned about manipulation, it goes hand in hand. Despite the massive red day, it does show that shorts are actually closing out 1.23% of their positions, which works out to be 4.25 million shares being returned. Cost to borrow has gone down a little bit, so 3.91, and I've always said cost to borrow and short interest are usually inverse. So the fact that cost to borrow is going down, as is short interest, that causes a little bit more of a question. Short interest right now is 16.88 and short score is 72.92, and all this information is available via Ortex. I do have a link to them in the description below. If you ever have any questions about short information, what short score is or whatever it might be, let me know in the comments below. I'll definitely address that. But getting right to it, I just want to go over some technical analysis. So looking on the actual chart at the 50, 100, 200 200-day moving averages, Bollinger Bands, RSI, stochastic, and momentum. So momentum, you can tell number of buyers is down significantly. Clearly a lot of fear factoring in, and only so much retail in presence can constantly hear the word recession over and over without actually sinking in. So definitely a lot of retail presence is scared today. Stochastic, there is that deviation, so red line above the black showing a little bit more of a bearish sentiment. RSI is currently at 40, and on the actual chart we did transition from the higher to the lower percentile of the Bollinger Band, and unfortunately it does appear that the 50-day moving average is going to diverge with that central Bollinger Band as well, which overall is a little bit more of a bearish sentiment when it comes to that. So that is a good summary of everything you need to know with SoFi. But at the end of the day, I've always said SoFi is going to be a very big deal in the future. Just it's going to be a bumpy ride, and you just need to be comfortable with that. And at the end of the day though, keep in mind, I am not a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence at the end of the day. With that, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. If you like my channel, want to support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that said, appreciate you guys watching, and let's all make a lot of money on SoFi.